3 years ago, I ended my marriage with my spouse due to their infidelity with my younger sibling. To my astonishment, I recently received an invitation to their upcoming wedding, and my mother, much to my dismay, announced her intention to attend the ceremony. I felt betrayed by my mother's decision, but she reassured me that she had a plan to address the situation. My name is Isabella, and my former spouse and I worked at the same company, where I held the position of his boss. Despite his initial reservations about reporting to me, we grew close as I trained and mentored him. Over time, he became a valuable asset to our company, receiving praise and eventually proposing to me. Our wedding was a joyous occasion, with my family, especially my younger brother Daniel, warming up to my spouse after our marriage. However, about a year into our marriage, things took a turn for the worse. My spouse started coming home late, avoiding conversations about work, and going on frequent business trips. I suggested a spa trip to spend quality time together, but he unexpectedly claimed to have a work-related weekend. When my brother Daniel was unavailable, I turned to my mother to join me on the trip. Surprisingly, she agreed, expressing more concern about me than leaving my father alone. During our trip, we encountered a shocking sight at the hotel. My spouse, supposedly on a business trip, arrived with a woman who turned out to be my brother Daniel. The revelation left me in a state of shock, and I barely remember how I got back home. It became clear that my spouse had deceived me, and I felt equally betrayed by my brother. I decided to divorce my spouse, meticulously preparing the paperwork, securing a new apartment, and relocating. I left divorce papers at our house, specifying that legal matters would be handled through attorneys, and severed all contact with my spouse. I didn't disclose my new address to my parents. 3 years passed with distance between my spouse, my family, and me. One day, my mother shared an invitation from my spouse and my brother for their wedding, and she intended to attend. I was bewildered by her decision, as I couldn't forgive the two of them yet. Still, my mother assured me that she had something in mind. On the wedding day, my mother video called me, and though I initially wanted to disconnect, I remembered her earlier words and stayed connected. A slideshow appeared on the screen featuring photos from my birth to the present, seemingly portraying my brother's life. However, as it progressed, it became evident that the bride in question was me, not my brother. I was surprised by this revelation, and my mother took the stage to explain that my spouse had betrayed me, eventually marrying my brother. She described how I had supported my spouse both personally and professionally, and how he had neglected me. The guests were stunned, and my spouse and my brother tried unsuccessfully to stop my mother's speech. She continued, revealing their affair and broken promises. The guests began discussing the situation, and my brother protested, claiming it was her wedding day, pleading with my mother to celebrate her happiness. She was a diligent student who successfully gained admission to her desired university. Upon entering the workforce, she quickly became a highly dependable employee at the company. Her friends and colleagues, who were aware of her student days and workplace achievements, buzzed with excitement. "Huh, is that a photo from the university's welcome party? She didn't go to such a prestigious university, did she? Hey, isn't that a picture from the company's welcome party? Wait a minute, upon closer inspection, it's entirely different. If this isn't her." My brother also appeared to have noticed the discrepancies, exclaiming, "What the hell is this? This isn't her." Despite the bride and groom's puzzled expressions, the MC continued with the slideshow, unaware of the confusion in the room. The images depicted the bride's journey at the university and her eventual meeting with my spouse at their workplace, where she initially served as his instructor. Their story led to their marriage. As the MC struggled to hide their bewilderment, my mother took the stage confidently, seizing the microphone. She resumed narrating the story through the slides, describing how, even after marriage, her daughter supported my spouse both personally and professionally. However, due to my spouse's increasing business, he had little time for her. To alleviate his stress, my daughter planned a spa trip. "Wait, please," my brother protested, but my mother persisted, sharing images of my spouse and my daughter entering the spa hotel, appearing close to each other. Finally, Photos of the bride and groom emerged, causing the MC and guests to fall silent. My spouse and my brother grew even paler. My spouse declined my daughter's planned spa trip, citing an unavoidable business trip for work. My daughter invited me instead, and that's where we discovered his affair. These words ignited discussions and whispers among the attendees. Huh, an affair. Is this wedding really for my spouse and my brother? Could it be based on their affair? My mother slowly continued, addressing the guests' inquiries. But why would my brother's mother? My spouse swore to marry my beloved daughter Isabella and make her happy. Instead, he betrayed her. My mother declared, to make matters worse, he cheated on Isabella with her own sister, my brother. My mother addressed my brother coldly. I have always wished for your happiness, but you were the one who ruined it first. Isabella has always considered not only herself but also her family's happiness. What about you, my brother? Have you ever thought about how much Isabella would be hurt by your actions? Well, Isabella always seems so happy. It's not fair, my brother muttered. So, instead of being happy for your family, you got jealous, huh? My mother continued unfazed. Mother-in-law, please stop. She is your precious daughter too, right? If that's the case, can't you celebrate our new beginning? My brother pleaded. Why are you doing this? My brother continued. I don't want to become a family with someone as dishonest as you. I saw it clearly at today's ceremony. My mother retorted, if you genuinely intend to start anew with Isabella, why didn't you invite a single person from your own company? If you're going to have such a grand ceremony, shouldn't you apologize to Isabella? It's selfish to invite me and her father to the wedding without making any effort like that. But Isabella has been ignoring me all this time, my brother countered. Of course she has. After what you've done, it's only natural, my mother replied sternly. But that's all in the past, isn't it? Do you think her wounds will heal in just 3 years? Do you think you can regain our trust in such a short time? My mother continued, her anger evident. Don't be ridiculous. After these words, my mother angrily left the venue with her father, leaving behind a tense atmosphere. I could hear her voice through the cell phone, asking, Did you see that, Isabella? The reason for your divorce? Yes, I'm sorry for bringing up painful memories. I just couldn't bear to see those two acting like nothing happened. No, thank you. I feel relieved. It's as if you've said everything I wanted to say. That's right, Isabella. You've always kept everything to yourself. I thought it was just your kindness that you didn't tell your colleagues the reason for your divorce. Afterward, my mother sent me the recording of her conversation with my brother during the wedding. As my mother had stated, even with the passage of time, it wasn't easy to forget. Moreover, my brother showed no signs of remorse, dismissing it as a thing of the past. I resolved to begin my second life by giving my brother the punishment he deserved. I decided to do it while he was giving a presentation at the company. The presentation was open to volunteers from various departments, so I quickly signed up and attended the conference. When it was my brother's turn, his supervisor, unaware of his remarriage, remarked, Daniel, you seem even more motivated today, probably because you just got married. Yes, I will do my best for my family, my brother replied, sounding quite pleased. He should have known I was in the room, but that didn't deter me. I played the recorded audio I had received from my mother. The participants were taken aback by the sudden noise from the recording, but as they learned about his affair with my sister after marrying me, they began to confront him. Daniel, didn't you say that the reason for the divorce was a difference in values? I couldn't help but burst into laughter. Oh, really? Did you say something like that? Well, I also can't understand a value that involves cheating with your own wife's sister, though. I apologize for mixing personal matters into this important internal presentation. My brother stammered, I have decided to quit as of today. I have endured it because I like this company, but I cannot bear to be in the same place as him any longer. Just as I was about to leave, the board members intervened to stop me. Wait a minute, Isabella. You're an essential asset to our company. If someone should leave, it should be Daniel. Huh? But I've been expected to have a promising future. We had expectations in the past, but lately you've been wearing worn-out clothes, and you're not focused. It seems like you've completely lost your problem-solving abilities that you had before. We're not expecting much from you anymore." Emily, who had always been bad at housework and did nothing even when she was living with her parents, became a full-time housewife after marriage. Apparently, she left most of the household chores for my brother to handle. Even when he faced difficulties at work, I couldn't provide him with advice as I used to, and he started causing more problems. The fact that he had cheated on his wife's sister spread throughout the company, and his reputation took a nosedive. During the board meeting, it was decided that I would remain at the company, and my brother would be transferred to a remote area as an employee who would eventually be laid off. Emily, who had been enjoying her life as a housewife with his money, easily abandoned him when she found out. She moved on to another man, but it turned out that the person she switched to was a typical freeloader. She's now struggling with his debts, working 2 jobs day and night. As they say, what goes around comes around. If you do something wrong, it will come back to haunt you. Watching the two of them in such a state, I finally felt that I could start a new life. Witnessing my brother's downfall, I couldn't help but feel a mix of emotions. A sense of justice served and a tinge of empathy for the hardships he now faced. The karma of his actions seemed to catch up with him swiftly, and Emily's choice of a freeloader as her new partner only added to the irony. As the days unfolded, I focused on rebuilding my life. The support from my colleagues and the understanding of my superiors at work provided a stable foundation. The wounds from the past were deep, but I was determined to heal and move forward. I immersed myself in my career, taking on new challenges and responsibilities. The newfound strength and resilience within me were evident in the way I handled both personal and professional aspects of my life. Meanwhile, news of my brother's predicament spread throughout our social circle and the workplace. Colleagues who were once oblivious to the truth now saw a different side of him. The sympathy that some had initially felt for him transformed into a realization of his deceitful actions. It was a bittersweet victory, a vindication of the truth, yet a reminder of the pain I had endured. In the midst of this, my relationship with my mother underwent a transformation. Her initial decision to attend my brother's wedding had been perplexing, but her subsequent actions, particularly the revelation during the ceremony and her unwavering support in the aftermath, mended the strained mother-daughter bond. We worked together to navigate through the aftermath of the scandal, addressing inquiries from curious acquaintances and maintaining a united front. As time passed, I allowed myself to explore new possibilities in my personal life. The scars of betrayal remained, but I was no longer defined by them. The prospect of love cautiously re-entered my life, and I began to open my heart to the idea of a genuine connection. The journey to trust again was a slow one, but the lessons learned from my past experiences served as a guide. Professionally, I continued to excel, earning accolades and recognition for my contributions. The company's faith in me proved to be well-placed, and I embraced the opportunities that came my way. The trajectory of my career reflected the resilience I had developed in the face of adversity. In contrast, my brother's life took a different turn. Isolated in a remote area, the consequences of his actions manifested in both personal and professional spheres. The echoes of his betrayal lingered, making it challenging for him to rebuild his reputation. The once promising future he envisioned now seemed elusive, replaced by the reality of the choices he had made. As for Emily, her struggles with the freeloader and the debts she now faced were a stark reminder of the consequences of hasty decisions. The glamorous facade of a carefree life with someone new had crumbled, revealing the harsh truth beneath. Reflecting on the journey from betrayal to redemption, I realized that forgiveness was a personal triumph. The ability to forgive my brother and Emily, not for their sake, but for my own peace of mind, became a powerful step in my healing process. It was a testament to my strength and resilience, a declaration that their actions would no longer hold power over my happiness. Life, with all its twists and turns, had taught me valuable lessons about trust, resilience, and the importance of standing up for oneself. The scars were there, but they were no longer open wounds. Instead, they were reminders of the strength I had found within, a strength that propelled me toward a brighter and more fulfilling future. In the end, the tale of betrayal and redemption served as a testament to the indomitable human spirit. It showed that no matter how deep the wounds, one could rise above the pain, emerge stronger, and embrace the promise of a new beginning.